Which platform is better for hiring ghostwriters, Upwork or Fiverr? And I also want to answer the question, what kind of budget can you expect to spend to find a good ghostwriter for your next book? Now, the following clip you're about to see is two of our coaches, Cody and Nick, answering this exact question. Enjoy.
I have researched ghostwriters and come up with Fiverr and Upwork. Fiverr gives you pricing with the premium package. Ghostwriters charge typically between 450 to 850 for 30,000 words. Upwork asks for your budget without giving prices. My question is, what do you think Upwork pricing range for 30,000 words would be? Do you think $1,000 budget, I'm guessing, would be a good start? So I mean, in the course, we recommend specific companies to work with. So there's the urban writers and there's Hot Ghostwriter. Obviously, right now, with the massive influx of students that AIA has had since January, they're backed up. And nothing negative about those guys or anything like that, but they're just like they're over capacity, and it's their customers are suffering. So right now, the main message that Dan, myself, Cody, Brian, Yvonne, all the coaches are kind of pushing out is like, you know what, just don't do the ghostwriting company thing. Go directly to Upwork. We don't mention Fiverr in the course, and I'm not going to speak for the guys like in terms of Christian or Rasmus, but I really feel like the quality of writing you're going to find on Fiverr is probably not as good as the quality you're going to find on Upwork. By and large, there are always diamonds in the rough. There are always exceptions to the rule, but I generally find that Fiverr is your lower tier of everything. Graphics designers, writers, music production, video stuff, like whatever it happens to be. Upwork is like really the professionals. Now there's a bunch of scammers and a bunch of like nonsense that happens on there as well. But really, if you're a professional freelancer in your craft, whatever it happens to be, Upwork is like the premium channel to go to advertise your services. So I think you're going to have a better luck with Upwork. Now, to the cost standpoint, Upwork isn't a sales platform, whereas Fiverr kind of is. So Upwork, it's up to you to determine your budget and say, I've got $1,000 for this project, or I've got $850 for this, whatever it happens to be. And then put the job up with your description, give a big description, be robust, talk about the kind of writer you want to look for, the kind of tone you want your book to have, a little bit about the subject and that kind of stuff. Like, make it not just, I want ghostwriter for book. Like, that's not going to get you a very good result, right? But yeah, I mean, is $1,000 a good budget for a 30,000 word book? Yeah, I think that's a great budget. So is 850. So is 1,500, right? It's really dependent on what your individual budget is. But I would say that you should, for $1,000, be able to find a very good ghostwriter on Upwork. Now, is it going to be the first person that applies? Probably not. And of course, logic will dictate it's the very last person that you interview, right? Because then you hire them. But, talk to people, read through those applications, weed out the ones that don't put in banana pancakes. I like brown M&Ms because I'm a musician. I love Van Halen, and that's the Van Halen test. But I don't know. Cody, thoughts?
Yeah, so I mean, and just kind of going back real quick. So when it comes between Fiverr and Upwork, just the way it's set up, where people actually bid to be the person for your job, right? And then you can interview them and get samples from them and negotiate the price with them and how it's structured and deadlines. And it's just, yes, it's a little more work involved than going on Fiverr and saying, this is the amount of words I want, here's the price, I pay for it. There it is.
Yep.
Upwork's definitely more involved, but the outcome and the relationship you build with your writer it far excels what you can find on Fiverr. And you can continue working with that person, right? If say they do this, they slam the first book the park. Who do you think you want for the second book?
Right.
I want that person again, right? So I've already built a relationship with them. We work well together.
Yes.
I know they do good work, and so you don't have to do this all over again. So yeah, and then going back to the price, I have nothing to add. Like, the price is really going to come down to personal budget. I absolutely agree. $1,000, you should get quite a few people bidding on the job. And like your banana pancakes, like I like to do two.
Okay,
I like to do
nice.
two, so I put two in there because sometimes they're looking for the first one. So in the middle of there,
Right.
you put one, and it's like, hey, make sure the first word of your response is something that's the color red. It's just a random sentence in there, and then as they make sure the last word in your response is something the color blue, somewhere
Okay,
deeper
interesting.
down, and so you can kind of
Right.
really see who nitpicked and read the entire thing and paid attention,
Yep.
and because it takes time to interview and to
Yes.
put a lot and to see read samples and whatever else. And so if they actually don't go through the process of reading my job post,
Oh,
I don't care if they sound great in their bid. I've just learned the hard way, like just ignore those,
yep. 100%.
skip it.
Yep. Not worth the hassle in the long run, right? Because
Yeah,
how you do one thing is how you do everything.
no doubt. And then
So,
in the end, you're hiring one writer.
yeah.
Some people might get caught up on like, oh no, like only like 5 or 6 people bidded on my post. That's okay. You only need one.
Yep.
You only needed one to begin with.
Yep. And I mean, honestly, if all 5 of them are not a match, okay, start again. You know, it's
Gotcha.
only a matter of a couple days, only a matter of a week. I like to use because again, kind of going back because of the whole urban writers and hot ghostwriter thing. A lot of folks have been like, man, Upwork's, it's a lot of work, and I gotta interview like 5 people. And I'm like, all right, most folks have had some sort of 9 to 5 job before. And I think the vast majority, I'm going to go ahead and even say like 80% of people have probably worked at like a fast food joint or a Walmart or like a minimum wage type job. How long was the hiring process for that job? Like, it wasn't a day. It was usually at least a week, sometimes 2 weeks or 3 weeks, right? Because they're going through HR and doing like a whole funnel of like, we have 1,000 applicants and we need to hire 20 people. So it takes time. Have that same mindset. You are your own HR department and you're looking to hire people, and you've got to filter through. It's going to take work. I once worked for Apple. This was a long time ago. The application process for Apple was 3.5 months.
Oh my gosh.
3.5 months from not from initially submitting my application. It was actually about 6
Mhm.
months, but I submitted my application. And I heard nothing for probably 2 months, 3 months, something like that. I got an email saying, hey, we really liked your application. We'd like to meet you in person, blah, blah, blah. Then I had a series of 5 interviews. The first one was a giant group interview. I'm not kidding. A giant group interview. I was at I lived in Vancouver at the time, so they held it at the Vancouver Aquarium. And there was me and I think there were about 400 applicants. And like, we had to do group work, we had to do skits, we had to do like what do you call hunt and peck, find stuff. They had like secret clues hidden all over the aquarium. Like, it was intense, and it was a full day. I'm talking 8 hours. I was at the aquarium for this job interview, and I left and I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm never going to get hired. And this is asinine. But they called me back. And then it was a series of 4 interviews with, the first one was HR. The second one was the store manager. The third one was the store manager and assistant manager. Fourth one was floor manager, assistant manager, store manager. And then the fifth one, which was finally the one when I was offered the job afterward, was with the regional director. And this is for a retail job. I worked at the Apple store. But you know what I mean? Like, so take your time, hire good people. I guess that's the TLR.
Yeah, and like don't be too thrown back that if the process takes for you and your writer if it takes a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to go through the entire process to find the writer that's right for you, like understand that that's okay.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. And it's not too terribly long in the long run.
Yep. Yeah. Because you want to hire good people. You want to work with good people. And it takes time to find those good people.
That's right. That's right.